Garcelle Beauvais defends Kyle Richards' lesbian remark. Welcome to my channel, briefing on Bravo. Dive into the daring and thrilling world of Bravo. Your ultimate entertainment. Enjoy always. First of all, Garcelle Beauvais isn't backing down. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills mom caused quite a stir this month after she encouraged Kyle Richards to embrace her sexuality. The moment went down in season 14, episode 7, when Garcelle, Kyle, Erica Jane, and Sutton Stracke began discussing Kyle's separation from Mauricio Umansky and the speculation swirling around her romantic life. I'm going to be 100% blunt. Do whatever the F you want to do, Garcelle told Kyle in the January 14 episode. Be whoever you want to be. If you want to be a lesbian, be a lesbian. Kyle reacts to Garcelle's comments about her sexuality. Although she was seemingly amused at the time, Kyle later revealed she took issue with Garcelle's lesbian remark. What was really going through my head was, "You're being an asshole right now," Kyle said on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show. And don't try to act like, "Whoopsie daisies, you know exactly what you're doing." I was thinking, if you're thinking you're going to get a reaction from me, or I'm going to be offended, I'm not. It's nothing I haven't seen in tabloids and things. So in that aspect, I don't care. But what I did care about was, like, what are you getting at? Garcelle says her lesbian comment wasn't malicious. While Kyle wasn't pleased with the exchange, Garcelle insisted she had zero regrets about how things went down. I wasn't saying it to be malicious, Garcelle recently told TMZ. It was more about, we're powerful women, we can be whatever we want to be. So it wasn't a dig. It was just almost to inspire her to do whatever she wants to do. Garcelle went on to address Kyle's a-hole comment, pointing out that Kyle didn't seem too upset in the moment. I heard that. It's so funny because we laughed about it afterward, the Black Girl Missing actress explained. So for her to say that was pretty shady, but you know, I don't take it back. Garcelle urges Kyle to be authentic. Be whoever you want to be. Garcelle also defended her comment in the aforementioned RHOBH after show, saying she was simply trying to remind Kyle about the importance of being true to oneself. Where I was coming from that night when I said it, it was about, we are grown-ass women. We're people's mothers. We're people's grandmothers. What I was saying is, be whoever you want to be, Garcelle said. I'm not trying to call her out. Own it. Be authentic. I feel like Kyle cares a lot about what people think, and how this is going to look, and how that's going to look, and she's trying to figure it out. If this is who you are, or even if you're discovering it, discover it and own it. The power of authenticity. A stirring conversation. The sun had barely set over the glittering hills of Beverly, and the buzz of the city was just beginning to hum in the background of the chick dinner party that Garcelle Beauvais had been hosting. A quiet elegance filled the air, blending with the light chatter around the table. In the lavish dining room of her palatial Beverly Hills mansion, Garcelle, Kyle Richards, Erica Jane, and Sutton Stracke were gathered, laughing, sipping wine, and gossiping about the latest news from the world of Hollywood. But, as often happens with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, beneath the polished surface of the conversation, something deeper was brewing. It had been a tumultuous year for Kyle. Her separation from Mauricio Umansky had left fans and tabloids alike speculating about her personal life. Her marriage, once one of the most adored in the public eye, now seemed to be in freefall. The conversation had drifted to the topic of love, relationships, and the ever-present gossip about who might be dating who, and Kyle was caught in the crossfire of speculation as always. Garcelle, never one to shy away from giving her honest opinion, sensed an opportunity to give her friend some much-needed advice. She leaned forward in her chair, her voice confident but warm, as she addressed Kyle directly. I'm going to be 100% blunt. Do whatever the F you want to do, Garcelle said, locking eyes with Kyle. Be whoever you want to be. If you want to be a lesbian, be a lesbian." The words hung in the air, leaving the table momentarily silent. Kyle's reaction was almost unreadable at first. She smirked, clearly amused, but Garcelle couldn't help but feel a small pinch of anxiety. Was this the wrong thing to say? The women at the table looked at one another, exchanging glances. Sutton, who had a reputation for being blunt, let out a nervous laugh. Erica's eyes sparkled with the thrill of drama, though she chose to stay quiet for the moment. But it was Kyle's reaction that everyone was waiting for. For a split second, Kyle's face softened. Then, with a small laugh, she shrugged. "Well, Garcelle, that's definitely one way to put it." But inside, Kyle's mind was racing. Her initial amusement quickly turned to confusion and even a bit of irritation. She had heard the rumors. She had read the headlines. The speculation about her sexuality had always been a part of her public life. She had learned to brush it off, but hearing Garcelle's remark, especially in front of the cameras, felt like a different kind of exposure. She wasn't angry at Garcelle, per se, but the remark lingered in her thoughts. Reflections and regrets. That evening, after the party had wooed down and the guests had departed, Kyle sat alone in the quiet of her home. The echoes of Garcelle's comment reverberated in her mind. She thought about it, trying to dissect what Garcelle had meant by it. She replayed the moment over and over. Could she have misunderstood her friend's intentions? "I'm not offended," Kyle muttered to herself, though the words felt hollow. What she did care about was why Garcelle would make such a bold, public statement about something so private. It wasn't the first time Garcelle had stirred things up, but this felt different. It felt like an intrusion, a comment made without fully understanding the weight it carried. Kyle had been in the spotlight for so long, and the scrutiny of her personal life had become second nature to her. But for some reason, Garcelle's words stung. She wasn't angry, not exactly. It was more that she felt exposed in a way she hadn't been prepared for. The idea that she might have to publicly define herself in front of the world, especially with the kind of comment Garcelle made, was overwhelming. The question that lingered in Kyle's mind all night was simple. What was Garcelle trying to say? In the quiet of her bedroom, Kyle grabbed her phone and pulled up her messages with Garcelle. It wasn't the first time they'd butted heads, but she knew that their friendship could withstand a few bumps. With a sigh, she decided to address it directly. She needed answers. The aftershock. The following day, Garcelle was out running errands when her phone buzzed with a message from Kyle. She smiled, her fingers tapping on the screen as she read the words that had been sent her way. "Can we talk?" There was something about the way Kyle had phrased the message that gave Garcelle pause. She had a feeling the conversation wasn't going to be about the weather. When the two women met up later that afternoon for a casual coffee, Kyle wasted no time in getting straight to the point. She was clearly trying to keep her cool, but Garcelle could tell that something was bothering her. "So, Garcelle," Kyle began, her tone carefully measured, "about what you said last night." Garcelle braced herself, unsure of what Kyle's reaction would be. She had meant her words as a form of empowerment, a message about embracing who you are. But she could tell from the way Kyle was looking at her that the impact hadn't been what she intended. "Listen," Kyle continued, "I'm not offended. But what I don't understand is why you said it. I mean, do you really think I'm that confused about who I am? And do you think it's okay to throw something like that out there in front of the cameras?" Garcelle felt a pang of guilt, but she held her ground. She knew that her words had not been malicious, and she wanted Kyle to understand that. "I wasn't trying to call you out, Kyle," Garcelle explained, her voice calm but firm. "What I said was meant to encourage you. You're going through a lot, and I just wanted you to know that it's okay to be whoever you want to be. You don't have to answer to anyone but yourself." Kyle took a deep breath, processing Garcelle's words. She understood where Garcelle was coming from, but the delivery had been a little too blunt for her liking. "I get what you're saying, I really do," she said after a pause. But it's not just about being who I am. It's about being labeled. And right now, the world is always trying to put me into a box. You know what that's like. So when you said that, it felt like another label that I wasn't ready to wear. Garcelle nodded, understanding the complexity of the situation. I get it. I really do, she said softly. But sometimes we put those labels on ourselves. You're not just one thing, Kyle. You're not just Kyle, the wife. You're Kyle, the woman, the mother, the person. And you deserve to own all of it, whatever that means.